7 years ago from today, in the April of 2016, I just left my parents' house to live with a couple of roommates. And it was at this time that I made a major life decision that I didn't even know how it would impact me. But I went from 130 kilograms to 77 kilograms. And as a young person, a young fat person, I used to dream about waking up fit and healthy. Not healthy, but fit, because I wanted the attention from women and I wanted the approval from my peers and not to be made fun at and bullied by them. When I finally lost the weight, I thought to myself, my life begins now. It's gonna be totally different from now on. How wrong was I? After the ego trip of losing 53 kilograms ran out, I found myself with a vacuum within me. Because I had no goal to strive towards to. I had no reason to keep doing the sacrifices I made all these years. So without meaning behind them, why would I do them? Why would I sacrifice the good pleasure of eating a cookie before bed? Or 5 of them. And I began to overeat again. And I gained weight a lot faster than I was expecting. I went from 77 kilograms to about 95 in a month. I ate voraciously, really, and this was not very good for me. As you can understand, it messed with my self-esteem. What really am I supposed to be doing right now? And the conflict was burning up inside of me. A conflict between the two personalities that, at the moment, I was embodying. The personality, which was a fitness addict and health guru, and the fat kid that liked to play video games, smoke weed, and do all the bad shit everyone does. When these two parts of me were battling against each other, I chose to let my good side win, because the possibility of going back for me was unacceptable. It was a burning desire not to be fat again. At least not as fat as I was. I really loved exercising. I liked weightlifting. I found a newfound hobby and passion, and I didn't want to let it go. And I didn't want to go back and be fat again. One exercised, the other didn't. I chose the exercise. One ate good food, protein, veggies, rice. The other ate only bad food without any type of regard to what composition the meal was. I chose the first one. One was completely addicted to video games, weed, series, anime, porn. The other would lead me to a better future. So I chose to be a personal trainer. I chose to develop my skills. Identity shift is very brutal on you, because you are a person that was formed by the habits that you have. And when one of those habits changes, you are now another person, another identity that you see in the mirror. Changing just one of these core habits that I had built for 25 years would make me change the identity even more. So I had to take one step at a time. Because I let the good side of me win, I can say that I am free of any of those addictions, and that my life is fulfilling and purposeful. Yours can too. You just have to slowly reduce the one that keeps you in front of the television or keeps you addicted to video games, porn, and Netflix binges. I had a newfound value that was not there before, that was created and nurtured while I was doing the exercise, while I was taking care of myself. And this was the habit of self-esteem and the value of self-love. Taking care of yourself and valuing yourself as someone you should love and someone you should take care of. Do not let die, do not let rot in your own waste. Before I lost the weight, I had no self-esteem or self-love or even thought about these concepts or what they mean, really. I had no head. I had no way to think about the world in a clear and profound manner, because my head was inundated with bad stuff. And when I started getting my weight back, my self-esteem habit kicked in like a motherfucker, and I found myself split between these two worlds. Thank God I chose the right one. There's an old Indian saying about a grandchild and his grandfather walking in the woods. They see two wolves, one white, one black, bickering and fighting at each other. And the little boy asks his grandfather, "Grandfather, which one will win?" And the grandfather answers, "The one you'll feed." And this is the perfect analogy for the two sides inside of you. For the rational, powerful, focused side of you and the primal side of you. Both wolves exist within you and must be respected. Because I am still that child that likes video games, that likes weed, that likes bad food, that likes alcohol, that likes drugs, that likes porn, that likes women too much. And that part of me has not died. But I respect what that part of me is. And I redirect it to new purpose. When you feed your rational side, eventually your bad side goes along with it and plays its role. But you have to respect that both exists inside of you and that the choice is always within you to pick the right one. And at the right time, picking the wrong wolf will cause disaster in your life. It did in mine in multiple occasions, even after I lost the weight, because life is just like that. But the more you pick the good wolf, the more seeds you'll plant for your future self. The more fruits of labor you can pick years afterwards. I am now picking the fruits that 7 years ago I started planting. 5 years ago I continued planting while I was developing myself and searching for answers, searching for information, reading books, developing my self-esteem, my confidence, my willpower, my discipline, and improving all aspects of my life. And I am picking some fruits up right now, and I'm still planting some for the future. And that's what happens when you feed the good wolf and you stop feeding the bad wolf. I know that, for example, by stopping smoking, I stopped smoking last September. And by stopping this habit, I stopped planting the bad seeds of cancer, maybe, that I would collect 50 years in the future. And I started planting seeds of well-being within me. And I adopted meditation, more seeds of well-being that might be collected in compound interest in 10 or 20 years of my life. I don't know. There's a very good book about this, which is called Atomic Habits. The habits that you make, that you have, make the person you are, and they compound over time, and they are really, really important. Everything that you do compounds on itself. Everything. I have a whiteboard at home with a little man with a whiteboard behind him with an exponential graphic explaining and remembering that compounding interest is a thing. So everything that you keep doing will add up and eventually it will explode in your face. Either the bad seeds or the good seeds. Remember this. If you don't value a good body, mental acuity, mental well-being, well-being in general, being physically fit, strong and agile, having a nice second half of life, this video is definitely not for you yet. I hope that you can see that the power of treating yourself like someone you should take care of will bring enormous benefits to your life. If it doesn't, shut off this video and go watch a video on League of Legends or something, or go watch porn or something like that, because this video is not for you. For those, however, who can play with their imagination and see the possible bright future ahead of you if you compound these habits on your life, and if you release some of the bad old habits or even substitute partially some of them. Even the abundance that you can imagine right now of picking these two habits will still be shattered and blown away by the real results of adopting these habits. Eventually, I had very, very crooked teeth. Now I have a broken tooth because I broke it 3 days ago, but I had my teeth, my front teeth fucked up. They were black. I don't know if I have an image because I never smiled on photos or anything. I still have some crooked teeth, but that's just genetics, and I never put the bracers on, and I won't. But I didn't go to the dentist by fear and because I didn't love myself enough to do the sacrifice of going to that place that I feared. And I got over that eventually. Self-esteem and self-love will open other habits that will make your life more energetic, purposeful, driven, and focused. You will begin to focus on the right things, the things that matter to your future, the things that matter for your families and for your loved ones' future. When you choose, really, it's a choice. When you choose not to listen to this advice, when you choose to disregard all the self-help and the self-development aspect of your life, and you just pick the hedonistic lifestyle, we've seen with the Romans where that leads. We have seen where that kind of hedonistic place leaves humanity. It will leave us in the gutter. We will destroy ourselves because of it. And you have the obligation towards yourself. The only human right you are born with is self-love. Don't let that go to waste. That's the only human right that you have. It's to love yourself. Anything else is either karmic, RNG, or something. But loving yourself, seeing yourself as a person who is worth taking care of, is your sole responsibility, your right and your duty at the same time. Pick the right sacrifices. Embrace exercise and nutrition, or any other self-development habits. But the first ones that I would advise you to pick is exercise and nutrition, because your body will shape your mind, and your mind will then be powerful enough to take on other difficult habits and difficult sacrifices. Even if your motivation is down and you feel like shit, pick the good wolf. Plant the good seed. Nurture that seed and pick its fruits years later. In the case of exercise and nutrition, you can pick it weeks after. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can see already beans sprouting out from the soil that you planted. That the sacrifice of 30 minutes 4 times a week that you made 2 weeks ago really does have consequences, positive consequences. Begin to value your life. You just can't continue to be living like a freaking rock and waste the time you have left on Earth. It will only get worse. The generation we have is fabricated to get us hooked into everything, into drugs, into food, into Instagram, into Netflix, into porn, into VR, metaverse, whatever. Start living in the now, start living in the moment, start living your life, not escaping it to another realm where you don't have to think about the things that you have to do to love yourself. Don't hide from yourself. Embrace yourself and find love for yourself. Hope you liked the video, and remember, the hard work counts for double if no one's watching. Peace out.